besides behavior, what if there are other things I look at on the IEP and I say, I just can't do that accommodation. I just can't do this.
Well, we'll work together.
Yes.
But
Because if there's an accommodation in the IEP is a legal document, so that accommodation needs to be given.
And you'll find that most accommodations, if not all, are good for many students and
Right.
not just that one student.
Right.
Can you give an example of one that would be impossible?
So, and there are certainly some accommodations that are more difficult. For example, one of my students had an accommodation where for every writing assignment he would have access to letter stamps because he wasn't writing yet. However, he did not like letter stamps. He would take the letter stamps and hold them up to his face and take the letter stamps, and all of a sudden they would be in the floor, and they ended up being more of a distraction than an actual useful tool for him. So you could have that discussion with the special ed teacher and say, hey, this accommodation, really, these letter stamps are a distraction.
Or it's not really helpful
right.
at all. Or,
and
yeah.
you can either do an addendum to the IEP to change that accommodation, or you can and also have that conversation with the parents and say, hey, this accommodation isn't really working out, but this is what we're going to try instead. And so for him, what we did is we used an iPad, and there's a magnetic letter app on the iPad, so he would drag the letters to spell his words on the iPad. And once again, you could think, hey, that's a distraction in the general classroom for the other kids. He gets an iPad, I don't. But really, if you take it in there and you say, this is his work, this is how he's going to be writing, and the kids see him as writing, or if even the other kids get a chance to use iPads and write, then it takes away the what is that and curiosity of it, and it's just, oh, that's what he uses, okay, whatever.
And also, I think too, accommodations, if there's anything specific, we're training them in our classroom or individual, one-on-one, how to use things. So as a gen ed teacher, it's not like, oh, I have to do all this. Where do I begin? How do I find this? The students should already know how to use that, and that's why we have the assistants with them, or we're there to kind of guide them through it. So sometimes it's just supporting without accommodation.